Well, Good Friday. It's actually not Good Friday, but Good Friday to you. You all done? Did you get it all? Did you get everything done?
The Dan York State of Mind program is brought to you in part by Lookout Rhode Island and Takeo Comfort Solutions.
Something tells me that my viewers are kind of like me. It's Friday night. Christmas is not for 2 days. You got a whole day tomorrow on Christmas, unless you've got family plans like I do. Because on my side, we split, blah blah blah. So the day before Christmas is festive. The day after Christmas is festive. Christmas is quiet. Well, I just wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. This will be the last original show of 2016, and I thank you so much for your participation, watching the program. It has grown over this 3+ years to a pretty significant audience, and that's due to you. It certainly isn't my good looks, that's for sure. And as on Friday, and by the way, you may see this show again after its original airing during some holiday time, but on Fridays you may know that I don't spend any time commentating on or making commentary on the issues of the day, running to that camera for the rundown, because we record on Thursdays. And I get a break and I get a chance to visit with interesting people and have long-form conversations. And returning tonight is the sports columnist and, of course, key reporter at the Providence Journal, Kevin McNamara. And Kevin's now doing Patriots football in addition to being the guru of basketball around here. So Kevin and I kind of wing it. That seems to be the best way for it to come out. So it's a sports talk tonight. Although I got to tell you, K-Mac likes to get in a little politics on the side, but that's not something everybody knows. Let's talk about the Patriots and this guy. Who is this guy?
Yourself. A Merry Little Christmas. Yeah, so it's been edited, yeah.
True or false, Bill Belichick goes caroling every year.
Love Carolyn.
Really? I mean, really?
Really? Can we follow him around with a Dan York camera and see how he enjoys caroling? I give credit to Mark Dondero asking excellent questions all the time, including that one.
Well, Dondero's a gutsy kid.
He is.
He's one, yeah.
We've actually talked about it, and there's packs of media when you cover the Patriots, especially on the big days during the week. Wednesday is always the big day because Brady talks on Wednesday. Literally, he talks one day a week, and post-game. And, you can go up there and you can follow the pack and get Bill Belichick saying nothing, or you can try to be creative, and Mark tries to be creative, so I give him a lot of credit.
Merry Christmas. Good to have you.
Same to you. Busy week. This is a birthday week for me.
Yes.
As well as we have Providence is at Boston College on, last night, and we have the Patriots on Christmas Eve, 1 o'clock. You'll be there, right? You'll be at the Jets game?
No.
You're a Giants guy, right?
Yes, absolutely. Covering the football is a new thing for you this year.
It is.
Not in general, but in specific, in your task with the reorg and some of the retirements in the Providence Journal Sports Department, you've had to rearrange your role. Tell us about it.
It's been different, but fun because the team is so good. I can't imagine covering the Cleveland Browns, for example. No wins. But I've been up to Foxborough on and off for pretty much all of my 27, 28 years with the Journal, but never as a columnist. Jim Donaldson retired after the first game of the season, as a matter of fact, and he was truly an NFL guru. Was the beat guy for the Patriots for years and a columnist. Covered all the Super Bowls. I think he covered the NFL for about 35 years. So he had it down, and I'll say it's very, very different than college basketball, certainly, and the actual column writing is certainly different than game coverage. And I think most people appreciate that when your picture is on it. They want you to write some opinion, if not all opinion, versus the nuts and bolts of a game.
You find it, what kind of challenge?
The challenge are the game times. A 1 o'clock game on a Sunday is a breeze. An 8:30 kickoff on Monday Night Football is not fun at all, because basically you're writing through the game, and if the game ends at 11:30, they want something at 11:35. So that's a challenge. So it's different. It's different. But at this stage of my career, I'm ready for a challenge, something different.
But what about the editorial part of it?
I have no problem with, it'll be it would be interesting if I was writing about a team that was really struggling and there were a lot of, negative things that, We all see back and forth, with coverage of teams that are problematic or controversial. This team does a great job not only of winning, but of insulating itself. And I think everyone has heard the stories over the years. They don't really offer too much. The players keep their personalities in check, which is not good for someone like me. Belichick is Belichick. You might get a chuckle once a week. So Mark Daniels covers the team on a daily basis for us and does a great job. That is a tough job, because to crank out as much copy about the team on a daily basis when they really don't offer an awful lot, it's a challenge. But he does a good job.
So, when you just took on the columnist role, tell me what your beginning disposition was, and how it's actually rolled out in season 1. Is it going the way you thought it would? Access and having a point of view are linked. The more you know, the more you can say. It's not easy to get into their minds there, right?
No, it's not at all. I think it's easier in the role that I play versus what Mark has to do. I mean, Mark is really trying to get some quotes and some analysis where if there's not much on the table, I can just offer my opinion. So I do appreciate and enjoy that freedom. That's helped a few times where you basically have nothing because they didn't say anything. But
they give you feedback?
No, none. I don't know if the Patriots care about their coverage. Again, it's always relatively positive because they win all the time. Obviously what happened with Michael Floyd this week, that's a little different, very different.
What's your take on that?
I wouldn't have gone there. I don't think they need another player, and it's all about...
Explain to everybody what the story is.
Michael Floyd was a wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals, was stopped on a DUI on Monday night, and the Patriots picked him up on Wednesday. Arizona cut him, Patriots picked him up. Now, could they use another receiver? Yes, in theory, but not really. And my guess is he will be on the field and play in Saturday's game against the Jets that quickly. And the NFL is a nuts and bolts league. They only care about winning. These social issues, they deal with, but it is professional sports. They only care about winning. I don't care what anybody says.
Patriots included.
Absolutely. The Patriot way. You know what the Patriot way is?
They're pretty mercenary about their business, aren't they?
Win. That's the Patriot way. Whatever it takes to win.
There also seems to be some kind of a culture thing that Belichick has such a command, it seems, on that team that wise guys, for lack of a better term, seem to come in and straighten out.
They fall into line. I think that has to do not only with Belichick, but we are in the locker room a lot. By NFL rules, when they open the locker room during the week, we're in for about 45, 50 minutes. So it's a pretty good stretch. So you see guys coming and going, and it's very clear who the alpha dogs are, that they follow the older guys. And, Tom Brady is a great player, but he's the man. I mean, he is the man. They're all deferential to him. There's no way Matthew Slater is an undersold leader. I mean, he's a real leader. He's extremely well-spoken, been in the Pro Bowl like 5 times out of UCLA. Dante Hightower is a leader. Julian Edelman, even to some extent. I mean, they have some established veterans, and they're going to take Michael Floyd by the back of the scrum of the hair and say, listen, this is how we do it. And my guess is if guys act up and aren't falling in the line, they tell Bill. It's as simple as that. And we've seen guys over the years summarily dismissed, and you wonder why. That's why. You have to fall into line there, and that's clearly not the case around the league. But that's one of the secrets for the Patriots.
Yeah. How do you think they've maintained that kind of... It just is what it is. It's a culture that feeds on itself, right? Winning and discipline feed on itself, and
it is, but Dan,
don't have to be explained after a while.
It's also it's a very volatile business. These are some complex cats who come through those doors, and guys can slip through the cracks. Aaron Hernandez.
Hello.
So it's a it's a tricky business.
But you think after the Hernandez thing that they'd be extra special careful with anybody that's got any kind of brush with the law. And of course, what we're talking about here with Floyd and Hernandez are light and day.
Light and day.
But it's in the category of oops.
And Floyd had some the same issues in college at Notre Dame. So there's a significant track record here that they obviously weighed the pluses and minuses and are going to give the guy a shot. So we'll see. What I think will be interesting is, say he does play against the Jets and plays well. What's the reaction from the crowd? My guess is they'll cheer as loud as they cheered for Gronkowski, right?
I think the Patriot Nation, Kev, right? You could confirm this. Season ticket holder, my director over here. Yep. It's all about winning, correct? You wouldn't dispute K-Mac at this point?
No.
Speaking of winning, I'm getting a little excited here because it seems like dun 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 dun. On this side, my Giants are starting to weave through. Dun 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 dun. Is there a chance that we could have a third opportunity to upset the Super Bowl apple cart here?
There is a chance. I actually didn't believe in the Giants until that Cowboy game. You know, obviously it was in New York, and you know, a rough night.
It's the old-fashioned defense, man.
Defense wins.
Yeah.
Defense wins. I don't like many teams in the NFC. I don't like many teams in the league, and that's why I think I would, if you put a gun to my head, I'd say the Patriots can win the Super Bowl. But on the other side, you know, Seattle came in here and beat the Pats. Seattle's had some pretty major injuries since they had that win. Everyone's getting excited about Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay. Their defense is horrible. Dallas is Dallas, but we just saw the Giants beat Dallas. So now my guess is in the playoffs they could meet again in Dallas.
Yeah, but I hope you're not going to throw that myth about you can't beat a team three times around, because that statistically is not true.
The best teams will win.
Yes.
As a rule.
Yeah.
As a rule.
So give me the difference between covering college and a franchise. First of all, professional, and then the epitome of professional franchises, the Patriots. I mean, you don't have to be a Patriot fan to recognize that this is the epitome of a professional sports franchise. A whole big culture difference, right? I mean, these players are almost their own franchises in a way. They carve their own real estate and have as much equity sometimes as the staff does, versus the college ranks where there's a much more subordinate relationship, right?
It's dramatically different, college sports versus pro sports. I mean, first of all, the Patriots are one of the most valuable sports franchises in the world,
Right.
Any sport. Bill Belichick won't know my name this year. I don't know if he'll know my name next year, and I can guarantee you he could care less. The players, you know, you can get to know the players a little bit. You know, we a little name tag. You know, so in theory, you know, Mark Daniels, for example, because he's there all the time, he definitely knows some of the players, and they know his first name and whatnot. I don't think they care about what is written for one iota. Where college, you know, Ed Cooley, I know he was on your show a little while. He knows us. He knows us, and if we want any access to Providence College or the University of Rhode Island or any of the college football here, we just call them up and they answer the phone.
Right.
Well, Bill's not on my speed dial.
No, not yet anyway.
Not yet,
Keep
I
working
guess.
on it.
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll talk about some of the things that Coach Cooley said here on this broadcast recently. And of course, we've got to talk some college basketball overall. Stay with us. The Ryan Center, of course, the home of the URI Rams, and we begin with that conversation with college basketball with Kevin McNamara, because this is the team that everybody expected at the beginning of the year to with their top 25 designation, to really steamroll. And now it's 7-4, and again, full disclosure, I'm the public address announcer and on the part-time payroll down there at URI for that wonderful project. It's a labor of love more than anything else, but
Hasn't clicked yet.
Injuries are so important.
Really important. This is not North Carolina. It's not Kentucky. It's not Kansas. They don't have McDonald's All-Americans sitting on the bench, you know, waiting for their chance. They had a solid group of returnees, sprinkle in a little new guy, but they're not going to win without Hassan Martin, E.C. Matthews, Jared Terrell, all healthy and playing well together. And for whatever reason, injuries being the case with Hassan, it just hasn't happened yet. And it's still early in the season. I think hopes were too high. In all full disclosure, I'm a top 25 voter in the AP. I did not vote Rhode Island preseason top 25. I thought they were really close. They certainly thought about them. and I ended up voting them in after they beat Cincinnati and lost to Duke. And so I think I just had them in my poll once. I think they're close, but now they have some serious issues because Hassan Martin's their established big guy. He's out with a kind of a mysterious thigh injury.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you when he's coming back, but better be soon.
I'm not so sure. I don't have any inside information that I can offer. What about the relationship between the community, the fans, the university, the basketball program? I mean, actually, the attendance on the first few games was up. There's a lot of anticipation. But I'll tell you, if you're not winning, it's been healthy. But I talk to people about URI being it's a destination. You're going there for a basketball game.
Sure.
Versus at the Dunk with PC, they've got a built-in city environment and a culture of attendance. And even they've got a challenge game in, game out. So talk to me about that.
URI has tried to work this a little bit. They now have alcohol pregame. May even be at halftime. I'm not even sure. But it's just about the basketball down there. You know, you park across the street. It's a little cold walking in, walking out. You can't get a sandwich. You can't really get anything without going to Narragansett and driving for 15 minutes.
Right.
It's a totally different experience. Now, once you get inside, it's a great building.
Right.
And it's loud and it's fun and all good. But, you know, people don't remember that Keeney Gym, you ever see a game in Keeney Gym?
Oh, yeah. I call the game in Keeney Gym.
That's famous.
Yeah.
Keeney Gym was like 3,600 seats. So basically, they're filling 3,600 all the time now at the Ryan Center, but they're not going to fill 7,500. I don't think this is a program that can fill 7,500 seats on a consistent basis. Can they do a little better than they are now? Sure, but you have to win. You have to win because, you know, to get people from Cranston and Warwick and, you know, Providence to drive all the way to Kingston, they don't do that on a regular basis.
Coach Shirley's had a couple of nibbles. He's yet to visit this season. I think it's more logistics than anything else.
Yeah.
Where do you think that all is?
Nibbles as in?
Just where where he's at?
I think this is a big year for him. On and off the court, you know, recruiting-wise, they're doing a good job, really good job. I like their freshman class. They had a kid from Philadelphia sign early, so that he has the talent level where it needs to be. But getting to that NCAA tournament is a significant hurdle that Rhode Island hasn't achieved in a long time, and Dan has never achieved. And getting in somehow, some way this year is very important.
Right.
Very important, both for the program and for Dan Hurley. You know, Dan has had some nibbles. I think the only real offer that he had was Rutgers.
Right.
And I wouldn't go to Rutgers for anything. I think it's probably one of the 3-4 worst jobs in the country.
Yet they're, 11-1 right now?
We'll
Playing
see.
nobody.
Yeah.
Right.
When they start beating teams in the Big Ten,
right,
we'll talk again.
Yeah. Well, you know, listen, Dan's a 7-figure guy coming up next season, you know, and, you know, no one's going to cry a river over a guy that's, you know, highly stressed in a 7-figure job. Yet, at the same time, it would be nice to see that job and that program remain at a high level together, and I hope that is the case. And
I think it's very possible.
I mean, he'll have a winning season. It's just a question of whether he gets into the big show, and that's a lot of pressure right now for URI.
I can see Rhode Island winning a dozen games in the league, you know, 12-6. Well, last year, St. Bonaventure won the league. I think they were 12-6 and didn't get in the NCAA tournament. It's hard to get in, and you need to do some things in the non-conference to get you over the top, and they didn't really do them.
All right. When we come back, Coach Cooley said some things about his longevity. We'll get K-Mac's impressions on that when we come back. Stay with us. The lifetime gig here?
Absolutely. You know, it's
everybody wonders if he goes goes any deeper in the show, whether the Big Ten comes running at the top and da-da-da-da-da.
They've sprinted at us. You know, I think we're represented by an incredible law firm, and Dennis Coleman is the lead lawyer on it. You know, we've had a million opportunities, but there's something about fit. And when you fit somewhere and you're from there, you know, I think it makes it that much
Will another
sweeter.
glove ever fit?
You never want to say never, because what makes Providence a great fit for me is Brian Shanley and Bob Driscoll. They run the institution and our board. So I think when that changes, does the job change? That's what you don't know. That's the unknown. That's the reason why we're able to have such a special relationship.
By the way, different yellow shirt, but Interesting answer.
Yeah, very interesting. There have been schools that have approached him, but truly never Georgia Tech, Pittsburgh, Rutgers. That was dismissed pretty easily. I think, truth-o-meter, he probably thought about Georgia Tech for half a day, a few hours. But he realizes it's in a really hard league, the best league of them all, the ACC. But Atlanta's a great city, and I think he was intrigued by that a tiny bit, but he has a great deal at Providence. He makes a lot of money. The program's doing really well. His wife is from here. Their families are very, very big and a big part of their lives. I can't imagine him leaving for any job that's not a blue blood job. And in all honesty, they haven't won enough to be approached by Coach K retires tomorrow. I don't think Ed Cooley's on the short list. And he would leave for Duke. I can guarantee.
Right.
I'd drive him to the airport.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't think that's set to happen.
Well, a few tournaments in a row, and this team.
You need to win in the tournament.
Right.
I mean, to get a big-time job, you need to be Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens takes Butler to the championship game twice, Boston Celtics. Now, you and I talked about this after that conversation. I see the only place that Ed would leave is the NBA. I think all coaches at any level are always intrigued by the NBA. And I think if he was offered an NBA job in a city that he would like to live in, he'd think more than a day about that. But who wouldn't?
This team that he's got, undersold at the beginning, performing or overperforming right now?
Definitely overperforming in my eyes. I say that with some trepidation. I think they've beaten one really good team in Rhode Island. The rest of the games, I thought that they would win, or win handily. Memphis, I'll give you a little love on Memphis, But they went to Ohio State, played well and lost. They played a top 10 team in Virginia and lost. The league is really hard, and it's been good for the first 3 years of the reconfigured Big East. It's probably deeper this year than any other time. They have the number one team in the country, Villanova. Their first two games are at Xavier and at Butler. Good luck. You come home, you play Georgetown, and you play Creighton, who's in the top 10. So three of the first four are against ranked teams.
Predictions?
For
both URI and PC?
I would say Providence can win anywhere from 7 to 9 league games. That would put them on the bubble. They've done well enough in the pre-conference season to be there. I think Rhode Island's got to win a dozen games, and they'll be on the bubble. Both touch and go. Make it interesting in March.
And back to the Patriots, which is now your beat for columns.
Can I root for the Patriots to lose so I can just cover basketball? I'm kidding. I did that for Kevin.
That, right. Yeah, that'd be a little complicated.
Make my life a lot easier if the Patriots stubbed their toe, but it's not about me.
Yeah, you don't mind working for a living, do you?
No, it just the travel is.
It's hard.
It's not fun.
It's not fun
at all.
No.
Denver.
Now that you're over 50, it's just not getting any easier.
Just went out to Denver, landed. It was -4.
Yeah.
Took off on Monday. It was 5.
Well, hey.
But hey, it's a garden spot, right?
Bring your suit. Good to see you.
Happy
New Year.
Same to you. Merry Christmas.
Kevin McNamara. Final word when we come back. Stay with us. So next week we'll play some programs for you that have inspired us or interested us over the course of the year. We'll take a little time off. You don't mind that. I hope you are for the holidays. Thanks for a great 2016 and for helping the show to grow and passing the word. I wish you a happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks.